This is a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and to the average person it just looks like an old used car. But what this is the most influential SUV from the last 30 years. Like I said, this is a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it's not just any 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is the Hot Rod 5.9 limited model, and there's no other way to put it. This is Genesis for the modern performance SUV. Of course, there are people out there that will contend this point. After all, the Lamborghini LM002 and the GMC Typhoon both beat the 5.9 Limited to market. But as far as history is concerned, those vehicles were one-off experiments of what a performance SUV could be, rather than a blueprint of what a performance SUV should be. The Lamborghini LM002 was, well, a Lamborghini. It had the V12 engine from a Countach, a manual transmission, and an open cargo area that was more pickup truck than traditional SUV. And the Typhoon, although bodied like an SUV, wasn't exactly what you'd call practical. It had just 2 doors and seating for only 4. And despite having 360 pound-feet of torque and a separate truck chassis, it could only tow 1,000 pounds. And just to prove my point, I've compiled a list of all the performance SUVs on sale today that either have a V12 engine, a manual transmission, or 2 doors. Let the record show that this is a blank piece of paper. Virtually every performance SUV launched since 1998 has followed the 5.9 Limited's formula. With few exceptions, they've all had a powerful engine at the front, 4 doors in the middle, and the ability to tow at the back. And while you're probably familiar with all the Porsche Cayennes and BMW X5Ms that have come along since, you're probably not that familiar with the 5.9 Limited itself. So let's take a quick history lesson. 1998 was the end of the line for the ZJ platform that underpinned the first generation Grand Cherokee, and Jeep decided to send it off with a bang. But instead of making some kind of serious off-roader that would have been perfectly on brand, they decided to create what was at the time the world's fastest production SUV. And by its name, you can probably guess what gave this Grand Cherokee its zip. Instead of using the 5.2-liter V8 from the normal Grand Cherokee, Jeep stuffed the larger 5.9-liter V8 under the hood of the Limited for the 1998 model year. As a result, horsepower jumped from 225 to 245, while torque went from 300 pound-feet to 345 pound-feet. In order to cope with that extra power, Jeep upgraded the 5.9 Limited's 4-speed automatic transmission and gave it a limited slip rear differential to go along with its full-time 4-wheel drive system. And the result of all that new hardware was some impressive performance. The 5.9 Limited could go from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, which was a full second faster than the normal V8-powered Grand Cherokee. And even though a 0 to 60 time of 7 seconds isn't impressive today, it was good enough to make this the fastest production SUV you could buy in 1998. The 5.9 Limited also set the bar for performance SUVs in terms of interior comfort. In addition to having 2 more doors in the GMC Typhoon, the 5.9 Limited also had a much more lavishly equipped interior with soft leather upholstery, unique wood accents, a multifunction steering wheel with an airbag, and a 10-speaker premium audio system. This wasn't the most luxurious SUV you could buy in 1998, but it sure was close. And at the back of the 5.9 Limited, you'll notice this little device here known as a trailer hitch. And the reason Jeep's fitted that to this vehicle is because it's rated to tow 5,000 pounds, so you could use your performance SUV like a normal SUV. And the last piece of the high-performance SUV puzzle is something you can't see, the 5.9 Limited's exhaust note. Whereas the Typhoon sounded like any number of other V6-powered SUVs, the 5.9 Limited sounds like, well, take a listen for yourself. And so that's the 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, the grandfather of the modern performance SUV. Yes, there were other go-fast utes to come before this, but the 5.9 Limited was the first performance SUV to put everything in an order we still follow today. And for that reason, I think the 5.9 Limited should go down in history as one of the most important SUVs of all time.